I.S.U.P.K.
All right, Shalom. Priest and Officer Ricard for the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, and I am here with
Abu Hanif Abdallah Abdul Halek. I'm a Muslim by faith.
Most High in Christ. All right. Now, do you believe that voting is beneficial for black people in America?
I do believe that it can be.
You believe it can be?
Sure.
So you believe that us selecting an enemy of ours, a Caucasian, to dictate what runs our lives as beneficial?
No.
Because essentially
but I
that's
think
what
that we're
doing
embedded within the system, that we like it or not. And if we can do anything to change that system, and part of that process is by voting, then we should.
Well, that's a very good way of thinking. It's very noble, but a lot of people thought that way and failed in that action. A lot of people may have thought that I could change the system from the inside, and at the end of the day, they end up polluted, terminated, broken, or just kicked out of the system.
That's true. I worked in one of the most corrupt systems there was. I worked in prisons for 20 years. When in 1972 there was a concentrated effort to take young men like you and put them away in prison for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Everything in the environment wasn't right. I was working within it, and I was part of the system. And where I could make about a change, I did. But I couldn't do everything that needed to be done to change that situation. So you're saying the same thing, you're putting the question to me, if we should vote. As if that's going to make all of the changes. It isn't. But it's a step towards the process. That's what my argument is.
Because voting, we've been allowed to vote, I'm talking about allowed, to vote since like late 1800s. We've been allowed to vote without no interference since 1960s.
Mm-hmm.
Since we've been voting, do you think any real change has came to the black community?
There's been some change. It would be ignorant of me not to think so. It would be ignorant of me of not to see it. I have seen where there's some changes are. One of the greatest teachers that I had, Malcolm X, the personal friend of mine, was a staunch voter in terms that we should go out and vote. It's that how we vote. It's just like having money. It doesn't matter how much money you have, it's how you utilize the money.
So with the vote, you believe that we had some positive changes in the black community?
There were some changes. Yes.
Oh, some changes. He didn't say positive. That's right. He said
there's some changes. Well, it wasn't for the worse, it was for the better. Isn't that positive?
What changes were positive?
You want to run into a grammatical argument with me. I'm not getting into
no,
that.
I'm not trying to get to an argument with you, because you're a more experienced brother. And my generation don't exactly agree with voting because we don't see it. We actually see it getting worse.
Okay.
The community's getting worse. We're not messing with each other. See, let's say back when voting wasn't a good thing for us.
Okay.
We didn't vote because our lives were in danger if we did vote.
Okay.
We were building up strong
At one time we couldn't vote.
Huh?
At one time we couldn't vote.
I know, and we were, at least we had each other back then. We depended on each other.
We still got each other.
See, the thing is about voting is, it makes us dependent on our enemies. It's saying that we need you to fix our problems.
I don't see it from
We
that.
need you to lead us.
I don't see it with the same premises that you see that. I don't see that.
You don't see that, though?
No.
So when you vote, what exactly are you voting for?
I'm voting for a better situation, better conditions,
and who's to give that situation and conditions?
Those who make the law.
And who do that?
Those who I may vote for.
And who are those people that you are voting for?
A number of people.
But like this,
I thought you said that.
It's their system.
Sure, it's their system. They're in control. You have to remember, you live in another man's house. And so when you're in this house, you got to abide by his rules.
So what's the better solution then?
What is it? I'm asking you that.
Get our own house. Make our own house.
How you going to do that?
Simply by separating from
Just don't tell me. Pass away from me how we're going to do that.
This is how we do it.
We don't vote.
Check it out. We don't vote.
Okay. And then
we
what's
gather
next?
together and depend on each other.
Okay.
And that is a beautiful thing. That's what we were doing back in the early 1900s.
Okay.
We were dependent on each other.
Okay.
We had our own neighborhoods, we had our own businesses, and they were flourishing.
I was able to be in this business for 42 years in the black community, dependent upon black people.
But how common is that?
How
common is that? Back then it was very common.
Sure, it was common. That's
but
right.
It's not very common now.
No, it isn't.
You know why?
Yes.
Because of MLK and his integrating us with our enemy, now we're in that burning house and all our businesses and hopes is
In
burning.
part, I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying?
In part,
so
I agree
if we
with that.
separate from them
Yeah.
and join each other,
Yeah.
we'll
I'm
be
not
better
gonna.
off.
I'm not gonna argue that because there's some truth to that.
You know what I'm saying? It might be a hard fight.
But in
it's
the
going
fact,
to be a hard
but
fight.
in the fact that it's not occurring, and it does not seem to be going fast enough in that direction.
I truly agree, but that
And the big
Alabama
problem
joint gave
is
us some hope.
The what do you mean, the beef, the brawl?
Yeah, that gave us a little hope there.
Well, the thing is, it did it. They got money, the brothers. As a matter of fact, they punishing him more than anyone else. The one that hit the one.
I heard that too, bro.
I got to go.
But I'll see you, brother. Thank you for the interview.
I'm not letting nobody tell you crack. You know why? Because I never saw you before. But you a black man like me. And it's worth something.
My whole life was trying to find something to follow. Had loyalty, every man tried to borrow. Felt pain and a lot of sorrow. Got betrayed, sold packs, I didn't even have my heart broke. Living confused, about to lose hope. Cops got me on the side of the road like a sideshow. Need an antidote before I croak. Now I'm setting fire to rhythm man blues, call this guitar smoke. Rebel with no cause, trying to find direction. The world got me vexed. Picked up a bad liquor habit that's hereditary from oppression. Felt like my life was on fire, trying to find an exit. Now look, 10 G's plus a good record. Sometimes a follower is a soldier, trying to find a good shepherd. Plus when you in hell, how do you excel? Wisdom the breath of life, I don't believe in fairy tale. Listen well to what I tell. No calling can cause pain, something that a rebel knows very well. Can't you tell I was sent from the Lord? Got a tongue like a two-edged sword with